Hey, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I am super happy and excited to see all of you today. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a very practical and pragmatic way to make an extra $100 a day reselling online. Now, if you watched yesterday's video, you know I talked about how to take your side hustle and turn it into a full-time business. And in that video, I talked about, well, how to replace your full-time income at your typical day job. And I used the example of $36,000 per year, which comes out to about $100 per day. So I'm going to go more in depth into that on how to achieve that extra $100 a day of income with your reselling business. Before we dive into it, if you're new to this channel, thank you so much for being here. My name is Jacob and I'm a full-time online reseller, primarily on the Poshmark app. And I've been using this YouTube channel to document the day-to-day growth of my business. I'm here to learn and grow alongside you, and I'm here to do that as best I can through the growth of my business. I'm here to help you out through all my tips and tricks and successes and failures. And if you want to repay the favor, the best way to do that is by liking and commenting and subscribing. I really appreciate it. And to everybody who has been doing that so far, all the supporters of this channel, you guys are literally the best. Thank you so much. Let's get into today's video. All right, now before we dive into the actual, grounded information on how you can achieve an extra $100 a day with your reselling business, we have to do a little whiteboard math. See, when it comes to actually taking action on stuff, I like really simple and pragmatic ways of doing things. And the most simplest way of figuring out how to make an extra $100 a day is by simply doing the math and doing a quick calculation on a few simple things you can do to achieve that with your business. So what's a simple, pragmatic way to achieve $100 per day? Well, let's do the math. You simply have to sell 4 items per day for $25 each, and that will net you $100 in sales. Now, this was an example I gave in my last video, but you could also sell, 5 items for $20 a day, and that'll net you $100 as well. Or you can sell, 10 items for $10 a piece, and that'll net you $100 as well. Yeah, I really like looking at my business this way because this seems super obtainable. This is something I think everybody can do, whether you're at a small stage in your business or a big stage in your business. You can figure out a way to sell 4 more items a day for $25 a piece to net an extra $100 per day. When it comes to any goals or any ways of actually generating more income for my business, I like to break it down like this. It's a super pragmatic and simple way to, think about it. I can think about it simply, then I can actually go out and put action towards these ideas and achieve these goals. Okay, so yes, I get it. The math makes sense. It's simple enough. You don't have to be like a rocket scientist to figure this out and understand it. So how do we actually apply this into the real world and into our business? Well, I'm going to give you an example for each of these, and I'm going to speak through experience of my business on things that I sell for these price ranges that help me achieve an extra $100 per day. Okay, let's start with that first example, which I think would be a good baseline for everybody. Selling 4 extra items per day for $25 a piece to generate an extra $100. Now, this is super attainable. 4 items doesn't take up a lot of time, and $25 items, in my opinion, are easy to source, and I'm gonna explain exactly what I source that are $25 items right now. When I look back on the sales of my business, the items in the $25 range, honestly, a lot of them are outerwear. I have a whole Rolodex of sales to prove that most of my items that I sell for around $25 are outerwear. Think jackets and heavy pants and maybe some sweatshirts. Those kind of thicker material items typically are in this $25 price range. So what I would recommend next time you're sourcing items and you're looking for 4 extra items per day to go resell online, head to the outerwear section first, because from my experience, a lot of the items in this price range are going to be outerwear. So go to the outerwear section, find items that you can realistically sell for $25 a piece, which again is probably going to be some sort of outerwear. Go ahead, buy them up, get them listed. All you have to do is list 4 items per day. Slowly but surely, if you're adding 4 pieces of outerwear to your reselling inventory per day, you will start to notice that you will probably end up making an extra $100 per day. Now that's just kind of the grassroots math behind it, and I'm speaking from experience of my business adding outerwear to my inventory. Now after time, it's going to take a little bit more nuance than this. This is just a good kind of base method to get the ball rolling, so to speak. Start adding some more outerwear to your inventory. You'll find that a lot of times you will sell most outerwear for around that $25 price range, thus generating you hopefully an extra $100 per day in the future. So I find in that $20 price range that I need to sell 5 of per day to make an extra $100 per day. Well, a lot of times in this $20 price range, it's gonna be more brand name, just typical clothing. Think of companies like Levi's. Levi's are great in this $20 price range category. Again, I have an entire Rolodex of sales for me selling Levi's for around that $20 price range. Levi's and some other higher quality denims, think like the cowboy cut Wrangler jeans, those are also gonna fit in this $20 price range. So Levi's is a fantastic brand for this $20 price range. Now alongside other big brand names, another really good one to look out for is Ralph Lauren, or Polo as a lot of people refer to it. The Ralph Lauren stuff will easily fetch $20 or more depending on the garment. Actually, a lot of it can actually fetch into that $25 price range. But if you're looking at the typical button downs and polos, which again in my area are very easy to source, you can find it all day long and sell it all day long for that $20 price range. Last item in this category that I actually want to recommend to you today is going to be workwear. Now this isn't a specific brand, however you can boil it down to specific brands. Think Carhartt, think Duluth Trading Co., even think Dickies, like the classic Dickies work pants. I have very good luck selling all like work style clothing for at least $20. Some of it can actually fetch a ton more. So no, this isn't a specific brand. It's actually a category, but there's a whole vine of different brands underneath this workwear label. So think Levi's, think Ralph Lauren, think workwear. Kind of for this $20 category, I like to think brand names. I like to think practical clothing, especially that workwear. I think all this stuff is easily obtainable for a lot of people. Now obviously that's going to depend on your specific location and your sourcing ability, all that stuff. I completely understand, but here's kind of the grassroots method of how to obtain $20 items, sell 5 of them a day, and make an extra $100 per day. All right, now let's dive into that last category that I talked about earlier in the video, and which I think is a very underrated category because a lot of people don't like to put in the work to make this category fruitful for them. It's that $10 item tier. $10 items, you have to sell 10 of them a day to make an extra $100 a day. But I'm here to tell you it is totally possible. A lot of people really scoff at this $10 label because they don't really think it's worth their time. But honestly, I have made thousands and thousands and thousands of extra dollars every year selling lower end $10 items. This might actually be the most practical because I think $10 items are readily available in really everybody's location. No matter where you're at or your sourcing abilities, you should have a fairly easy time sourcing $10 items. $10 items are going to be your mall brand items. Now, what do I mean by mall brand? You've probably heard this term before. I mean brands like American Eagle, Aeropostale, I think it's APAO, I don't know, Abercrombie and Fitch AF. You see how all these brands start with an A? Kind of weird. But yes, it's going to be these brands, your American Eagles, your Aeropostales, your Abercrombies. It might even be some of your like Nikes and Adidases and Reeboks and Pumas, some of your sports brands. it might be that as well. But all these brands can easily be obtained. You see them all day long. And a lot of people, again, you see just a typical American Eagle t-shirt, you kind of, you're gonna pass up on it because you don't want to put the time in to take pictures of it and write a description and list it. However, I feel like a lot of these items in the $10 category, you can get a big abundance of. So you can actually scale this $10 an item tier and get a ton of items, and slowly but surely you'll find it's super easy to generate 10 sales a day to make an extra $100 per day. And what you'll find with a lot of these items in the lower tier $10 category is you can find them dirt cheap and readily available. A lot of times you can still make like 1,000% on your profit. I mean, I can source American Eagle and Aeropostale and Abercrombie stuff for like $1 to $2 all day long. And again, after a while, when you build up your inventory of $10 items, you will find that selling 10 of them a day is super obtainable. And again, that's $100 a day or an extra $36,000 per year. And that's all because of these lower tier items. There's a lot of power in it. All right, so there you go. Those are my recommendations for making an extra $100 per day. And it's as easy as doing the math, figuring out a very pragmatic and simple way that you think you can source items that fit into a small math formula that you can thus sell and make an extra $100 per day. So that's today's video, how to make an extra $100 per day with your reselling business. Now again, this is assuming you kind of have some established reselling business already, but if you don't, go back on my videos. I have my entire journey documented about how I pretty much started my reselling business from nothing. And again, I have a ton of videos, so you might have to go back a ways, but this is a good way to do it. It's just a good outlook on how to make extra money with your business. And again, I hope you were able to take something away from this video. So there you go. I hope you had fun and I hope you learned something as well. In the meantime, be good to one another, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.